Sit in silence. Close your eyes. Feel the stillness around you. You do not need to beg, chase, or struggle. Wealth is already yours. Right now, in this moment, you are the one holding the winning ticket. It has been placed in your hands and the numbers match perfectly. Your breath quickens. Your heart races with excitement. You know what this means. You have stepped into a new life. Effortlessly. You don't need to figure out how it happens. You do not need to move a muscle. You are simply receiving what is already yours. Listen within. Do you hear the sound of your own voice celebrating? Do you feel the weight of the check in your hands? Do you sense the rush of emotions as you realize your entire world has changed? This moment is real. It is already unfolding in unseen ways. You are not creating it. You are aligning with it. You are not forcing it. You are accepting it. And allow yourself to step beyond the limits of what you have been taught. You do not need to wish for a thing, nor do you need to struggle or plead. Wishing implies separation. Hoping acknowledges doubt. Trying hard only reinforces the idea that what you desire is not yet yours, but assumption, pure, unwavering assumption, has the power to override all barriers. It is the bridge between where you stand and where you desire to be. Most people believe that effort is required to achieve anything in life. They have been conditioned to think that only through struggle and persistence can they attain what they seek. But this is not so. The world you see, the life you experience, is simply a reflection of what you have accepted as true. You are not moving toward your desires. Your desires are drawn to you in accordance with your state of being. The moment you assume something is already done, the world has no choice but to arrange itself to reflect that assumption. The assumption is not merely thinking positively. It is not daydreaming or wishful thinking. It is a deep inner knowing that what you have imagined is not coming to you. It already is. Right now, in this moment, the version of you who has already received everything you desire exists. Your role is not to create, but to align. You do not need to force circumstances to change. You simply need to occupy the state of having. Take a moment and imagine yourself as the one who has won. What does it feel like to hold that winning ticket? To see the numbers match perfectly? To feel the weight of the check in your hands, knowing that your life has changed forever? Feel the excitement surge through your body. Hear the sound of your own voice as you celebrate, as you call those you love, as you breathe in this new reality. Do not analyze how it happened. Just rest in the certainty that it has. Notice what happens within you. Perhaps a voice arises whispering, "But how?" Or maybe a wave of doubt surfaces, reminding you of the odds, of the impossibility, of the logic that governs the world. This is where most fail. Not because their desires are out of reach, but because they allow these doubts to override their assumption. The mind, conditioned by years of limitation, seeks evidence before belief, but the law is not belief follows evidence. The law is that evidence follows belief. You must remain steadfast. When you assume, you do not waver. You do not check your surroundings to see if things are shifting. You do not entertain thoughts of failure. You rest in the feeling of already having. Just as an actor steps into a role and embodies the character fully, you must embody the state of the one who has already received. The world will respond in kind. This is not theory, it is the fundamental law of creation. Every great success, every miracle, every transformation has come not through force, but through assumption. The ones who win, who rise, who receive, are those who have already seen themselves as such before the world acknowledged it. They are not surprised when wealth arrives, when opportunity appears, when doors open effortlessly. They expected it. I ask you now, can you dare to assume? Can you close your eyes and claim it as yours without needing any proof? Can you walk, speak, and think as though you already hold the winning ticket? For if you can, if you make this assumption real within, then the outer world must bow to it. It has no choice. Let go of logic. Let go of resistance. Enter the state of already having. Walk as the one who knows, not as the one who wishes. And when you do, the world will shift beneath your feet to match the reality you have claimed. For a moment and step beyond the limits of what you have been taught. Let the outside world fade away as you enter the realm of imagination, the only place where true creation begins. What you see, what you hold in your mind with absolute conviction, is not a mere fantasy. It is the blueprint of what is to come. The world you experience is not separate from your inner world. It is simply a reflection of it. Consider this. Everything that exists around you was once held in someone's imagination. The chair you sit on, the building you walk past, the technology you use, all were once intangible thoughts before they solidified into reality. The same principle applies to your own life. If you can imagine something vividly, if you can feel it is real within yourself, it must take shape in the world around you. Bring to mind a scene so real, so clear that it feels as though you are living it now. You are standing there looking down at your hands, and in them you hold a lottery ticket. But this is not just any ticket. This is the winning ticket. The numbers match perfectly. The realization dawns upon you in waves, first as a spark of disbelief, then as a rush of excitement that overtakes your entire being. Your breath catches. Your hands tremble slightly as you recheck the numbers, again and again, knowing with absolute certainty that this is real. Feel the weight of that ticket in your hands. Feel the texture of the paper, the ink that marks the numbers that have changed your life forever. You can hear the sounds around you, perhaps the hum of distant voices, the rustling of papers, the faint buzz of the environment, but none of it matters, because in this moment, you have stepped into a new reality. Let that feeling expand. Let it fill every part of you. The joy, the relief, the overwhelming gratitude that wells up inside you. You know what this means. The struggle is over. The limitations of the past are gone. You have received what was always meant for you. You can see yourself sharing the news with those closest to you, their faces lighting up with happiness, their voices filled with excitement and awe. Everything feels natural, as though it was always supposed to happen this way. Hold on to that feeling. This is not pretend. This is not a mere daydream. This is creation. You are not simply imagining for the sake of entertainment. You are constructing the very foundation of your future. But here is the secret. You must not contradict this vision with doubt. The moment you say, "But how will it happen?" you begin to unravel the very reality you have set in motion. The how is not your concern. Your only responsibility is to make the experience within you so real, so complete, that the outer world has no choice but to rearrange itself to reflect what you have seen. Reality does not create imagination. Imagination creates reality. The events in your life, the circumstances you encounter, are nothing more than echoes of past thoughts and assumptions. If you wish to change what appears before you, you must first change what you hold within. Think of this as planting a seed. When you plant a seed in the soil, you do not dig it up every day to check if it is growing. You trust that it is taking root, that it is developing in the unseen before it becomes visible. Your imagination works the same way. The moment you have felt the reality of your desire, you have planted the seed. Now your job is to trust. Every time doubt arises, return to the scene, live it again, breathe it in. Each time you do, you strengthen the roots of your creation, making it more and more inevitable. The mind does not know the difference between what is real and what is imagined. If you persist, it will accept your vision as truth. And when that happens, the world must follow. So do not wait for proof. Do not seek validation from the outside. Assume it, feel it, know it. And soon, what was once only a vision in your mind will stand before you solid and undeniable. The greatest obstacle between you and your desire is not the world outside. It is the doubt within. The moment you look at your circumstances and declare it's impossible, you have already accepted defeat. You have surrendered to appearances instead of recognizing your true power. But understand this: the world you see is not fixed. It is not the master of your fate. It is merely a reflection of what you hold within. If you allow doubt to take root, it will manifest in your experience. But if you can detach from doubt, if you can stand firm in the unseen, then what seems impossible must become reality. Doubt is the voice of the old self, the conditioned mind that has been trained to rely on logic and physical proof. It whispers, look at the odds, look at your past failures, look at the facts. It wants you to believe that circumstances dictate what is possible, but circumstances are nothing more than shadows cast by past beliefs. They are not permanent and they hold no true power. If you accept them as unchangeable, you will remain bound by them. But if you can rise above them, if you can ignore the logic of the world and trust in the unseen, then you will move beyond limitation. To detach from doubt, you must first recognize its nature. Doubt is nothing but fear disguised as reason. It tries to keep you safe, to keep you from disappointment. But in doing so, it also keeps you from transformation. It is a chain that binds you to your current state, making you believe that only what is reasonable is possible. But reason is limited. It is based on what has already happened, not on what can. And if you live only by reason, you will forever be trapped in repetition, experiencing the same circumstances over and over again. I ask you to do something radical. Ignore the facts. Ignore the numbers, the statistics, the opinions of others. They are irrelevant. Instead, go inward. Create within yourself the certainty that what you desire is already yours. Feel the reality of it so deeply that there is no room for doubt. Because once you know something to be true within, the world has no choice but to follow. Imagine a sculptor standing before a block of stone. If he were to look at the stone and say, "This is just a rock, there is no statue here, it is impossible to change it," he would never begin. But the sculptor does not see only the stone. He sees what is hidden within it. He knows that the statue already exists inside. He simply has to remove what does not belong. Your desires are the same. The reality you seek is already present in the unseen. You only need to remove doubt and limitation to reveal it. Consider the wind. You cannot see it, but you can feel its presence. You do not question whether it exists simply because it is invisible. The unseen forces of life are just as real, just as powerful. Your belief, your assumption, your conviction, these are the unseen forces that shape the world around you. If you place more trust in what you cannot see than in what you can, you will witness miracles. But you must be steadfast. The moment you entertain doubt, you undo your work. The moment you check the outside world for proof, you slip back into the mindset of disbelief. A farmer does not dig up his seeds every day to see if they are growing. He plants them, waters them, and trusts in the process. You must do the same. Once you have assumed the reality of your desire, let it be. Do not question it. Do not wonder how it will happen. Simply know that it is done. There will be moments when logic tempts you to abandon your belief. It will urge you to be realistic. It will point to your current circumstances and say, "See, nothing has changed." But logic is not the highest power. The unseen shapes the seen, not the other way around. What appears real today is only the result of past thinking. If you persist, if you hold firm in your assumption, reality will conform to your vision. You are the creator of your experience. You are not at the mercy of chance, nor are you limited by what seems probable. Probability is only a measure of what has happened before, not what must happen next. The moment you detach from doubt and assume the feeling of already having, the forces of the unseen begin to move. Doors open where none existed. Paths appear where there were once only walls. What once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. So stand firm, refuse to be shaken by circumstances, ignore the logic of the world and trust in the unseen. If you do, you will come to understand a truth that few dare to accept. Nothing is impossible except the limits you place upon yourself. And step into the reality where your desire is already fulfilled. Feel the moment as if it is happening now. The excitement courses through you. Your hands are shaking as you hold the winning ticket. The realization dawns upon you like the rising sun. It's done. There is no need to hope, no need to wish, no need to wonder. You already have it. The relief washes over you and a deep sense of gratitude fills your entire being. This is the feeling you must hold, but only for a moment. Once you have fully embraced it, once you have felt it so vividly that it becomes real to you, then you must let it go. You do not need to force anything into existence. You do not need to beg, struggle, or chase. The moment you have felt the reality of your desire within, the work is done. Your subconscious mind has already accepted it as truth, and the unseen forces of creation are now in motion. Think of it like planting a seed. When you place a seed into the soil, you do not stand over it demanding that it grow. You do not dig it up every day to check if it is sprouting. You trust that beneath the surface something is happening. You know that if you leave it alone, water it with faith, and allow nature to take its course, the seed will grow into a mighty tree. Your desires work the same way. Once you have planted them in the soil of your imagination, once you have truly felt them as real, you must release them and trust that they are unfolding in perfect order. Many people struggle because they do not let go. They feel the excitement for a moment, but then they return to doubt, questioning, and overthinking. They constantly check their circumstances, looking for proof, and in doing so, they disrupt the process. They dig up the seed before it has a chance to take root. This is why so many fail. They do not trust. They try to force things to happen instead of allowing them to unfold naturally. But creation does not happen through force, it happens through surrender. The most powerful way to manifest anything is to feel it completely and then release it with full confidence that it is already done. The moment you let go is the moment the universe takes over. The subconscious mind, which holds the true power of creation, will now begin to rearrange circumstances, people, and events to bring your desire into form. It does not need your interference. It only needs your faith. Imagine you have ordered something online. The moment you place the order, you do not keep refreshing the page, doubting whether it will arrive. You know it is on its way. You trust the process. You go about your day fully assured that what you requested is coming. This is the attitude you must adopt with your desires. Once you have felt them real, once you have placed the order in your subconscious, you must trust that they are being delivered to you in the perfect way, at the perfect time. Letting go does not mean you forget about your desire. It does not mean you stop wanting it. It means you no longer worry about how it will happen. You do not chase, you do not force, you do not beg. You simply allow. You rest in the certainty that it is already yours. This is why so many people fail to manifest. They cling too tightly. They think about their desire with desperation, constantly wondering when it will come. But desperation is the opposite of faith. When you feel desperate, you are affirming that you do not have what you want. And what you affirm within, you create in your outer world. Instead, you must feel the joy, the satisfaction, and the relief of already having. And then you must move on with your life, knowing that it is unfolding perfectly. Look at the world around you. Everything you see was once unseen. Every great invention, every masterpiece, every moment of joy someone has ever experienced began first in the unseen world of imagination. The moment it was accepted as real within, it was set in motion. The same is true for your desires. They are already moving toward you. But you must not block them with fear, doubt, or impatience. What must you do now? Nothing. Simply know. Know that it is done, feel it deeply, embrace it fully, and then walk away with confidence. Go about your day with the quiet assurance that the forces beyond your understanding are working on your behalf. The seed has been planted, the process is in motion. When the time is right, what you have felt will appear before you just as surely as the sun rises each morning. You do not need to push, you do not need to chase, you only need to feel, believe, and let go. And when you do, you will see with your own eyes that reality bends to the one who trusts in the unseen. And imagine yourself as the person who has already won. Not someone who is waiting, not someone who is hoping, but someone who knows, without a shadow of a doubt, that they are already in possession of their fortune. Feel the weight of that certainty within you. See yourself holding the winning ticket, looking at the numbers that match perfectly, knowing this moment was inevitable. There is no hesitation, no second guessing. You are not asking, will it happen? You are standing in the moment where it already has. This is the key, living in the end. You do not dwell in a mindset of one day, someday, maybe. That is the language of those who do not yet believe. You step into the version of yourself who already has what they desire, and you do not step out. You embody the reality of your wish fulfilled, not as an occasional thought, but as your permanent state of being. Look at your life right now. What do you see? Do you see lack? Do you see waiting? Do you see uncertainty? If so, it is because you are living in a reality that is separate from your desire. You are still hoping instead of knowing. But what happens when you shift? What happens when you begin to walk through life as someone who already possesses what they seek? Your mind no longer searches for confirmation because it no longer needs it. You do not check your bank account every day worrying if there is enough because you know you are wealthy. You do not wish for abundance. You carry yourself as someone who is abundant. You do not spend your days hoping for good fortune. You assume that fortune follows you wherever you go. You must think from the end, feel from the end, and act from the end. It is not enough to visualize once and then return to your old habits of thought. You must persist in the assumption that it is already done. Even when the outer world does not yet reflect it, even when circumstances appear unchanged, you do not waver. You remain steadfast in the reality you have chosen to embody. Consider an actor who steps into a role. When they perform, they are not pretending. They become the character. They adopt the thoughts, emotions, and behaviors of the role they are playing. And for that time, they are that person. This is what you must do. You must step into the role of the person who already has what they seek. And the longer you stay in that state, the more your outer world will conform to match it. Doubt will try to creep in. The logical mind will argue that nothing has changed. The world will tell you to be realistic. But reality is not fixed. It is shaped by the assumptions you hold. If you continue to live in the old version of yourself, the one who is still waiting, still wondering, still hoping, you will remain stuck in that loop. But the moment you fully assume your new identity, the moment you truly feel the relief of already having, your world begins to shift. Imagine waking up tomorrow and knowing without a doubt that your fortune is already yours. How would you feel? Would you be anxious? Would you be desperate? No. You would move through your day with ease, with certainty, with a quiet confidence that does not seek validation because it already knows. You would not talk about your dreams as though they are distant. You would speak from the reality of them already being fulfilled. That is the secret. When you live in the end, you bypass the waiting. You step beyond time itself and claim what is already yours in the unseen. And once you claim it within, the outer world has no choice but to conform. So do not wait. Do not entertain thoughts of one day or maybe. Do not speak of your desires as something you hope will happen. Speak as though they already have. Feel as though they are already yours. Carry yourself as the person who no longer wonders, but knows. Your reality will shape itself around you. The world does not dictate what you receive, you do. And when you assume the feeling of already having, when you truly live in the end, you will watch as what was once only a vision becomes the undeniable truth of your life. There is an immense power in silence. What you hold within, protected from the doubts and opinions of others, gains strength. The moment you begin to speak of your desires to those who do not understand, you risk diluting their energy. Every doubt, every skeptical glance, every question of how and when chips away at the certainty you are cultivating. And certainty, absolute knowing, is the force that brings your desires into reality. When you share your vision with those who cannot see what you see, they project their own limitations onto you. They ask, "Are you sure? How will that happen? What if it doesn't work?" These words may seem harmless, but they plant seeds of doubt in your mind. Even if you do not consciously accept them, they linger beneath the surface, weakening your faith. You do not need validation. You do not need permission. The only thing required is your unwavering belief in what you have chosen to manifest. And belief is strengthened in stillness. Think of a seed planted in the soil. It does not need to be pulled up every day to check if it is growing. It does not need to be explained to others in order to take root. It simply requires time, nourishment, and the right environment. Your desires work the same way. They need quiet. They need protection from the harsh winds of doubt and skepticism. The more you speak of them to others, the more you expose them to opinions that may shake your faith. The world does not need to know your plans. It does not need to understand what you are creating in the unseen. What you nurture in the silence of your own mind will grow into undeniable reality. There is no need to prove anything to anyone. When the time is right, the results will speak for themselves. Many people have learned this lesson the hard way. They excitedly share their desires with friends, family, or colleagues, only to be met with skepticism. That's unrealistic. That's impossible. Do you really think you can do that? Even when these words are said with good intentions, they create resistance. They make you second-guess yourself. But when you remain silent, no one can interfere. No one can inject doubt into something they do not know exists. Your desire remains pure, untouched by the limitations of others. And in this protected state, it grows stronger, becoming more real with each passing day. There is another reason why silence is so powerful. When you speak too soon, you release energy that should be directed inward. Every time you talk about your desire before it has fully materialized, you dissipate some of its force. You scatter the energy that should be used to deepen your belief and strengthen your assumption. Have you ever noticed that the more people talk about something they intend to do, the less likely they are to actually do it? This is because talking gives them a false sense of accomplishment. They feel as though they have already taken action, and so the urgency to bring it into reality weakens. But when you keep your desire to yourself, it remains concentrated. The energy stays within, intensifying rather than dispersing. It is not secrecy out of fear, it is protection out of wisdom. You are not hiding because you doubt. You are remaining silent because you know. You do not need external validation. You do not need agreement from others. You walk with quiet confidence, knowing that what you have declared within must become true in the world around you. This is the way of those who understand the deeper laws of creation. They do not announce their intentions. They do not seek approval. They move in silence, shaping reality from within. And then, when their vision has fully materialized, they let the world see the results. By then, there is no need to explain, no need to justify. The proof is undeniable. You must learn to do the same. If you have a desire, hold it close. Let it grow in the stillness of your mind. Nurture it with belief, strengthen it with conviction, and shield it from the doubts of those who cannot see what you see. The greatest things are created in silence. The most powerful manifestations happen without announcement, without external validation, without the need for others to believe. Because when you truly know, when you have assumed the feeling of already having, You do not need to convince anyone. Silence is power. It is the space where dreams take form. It is the protection that allows your desire to grow unhindered. It is the energy that ensures what you hold within becomes what you experience without. So do not speak of your desires before their time. Keep your vision sacred. Guard it fiercely. Let the world see only the outcome, never the process. And when your reality shifts, when what you once imagined stands before you as undeniable truth, you will understand the power of silence. All that you seek is already within you. The moment you assume it, the moment you see it vividly in your imagination and let go of doubt, the unseen begins to shape the scene. You do not need to chase, struggle, or convince anyone. Reality bends to the one who dares to believe in their own inner power. Detach from doubt, feel the joy of having, and then release it with unwavering faith. Live in the end, knowing it is done, and move in silence, protecting your vision from those who do not understand. The universe does not respond to effort, it responds to certainty. When you know it is yours, the world will have no choice but to reflect it back to you. Trust in the process, remain still in your faith, and watch as your desire unfolds effortlessly before you. Thank you.